Legend has it that they once tried to carve his face into Mount Rushmore, but the granite simply wasn't tough enough for his beard. This mythology originated far outside the world of movie scripts or PR agencies. It was crowdsourced. In the mid-2000s, message board users spontaneously began collaborating to build an absurdist, superhuman record for one specific person. The subject of this collective hero worship was Carlos Ray Norris, the man the world knows as Chuck. Suddenly, the internet was flooded with claims that Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down, or that he is the only man alive capable of making an onion cry. The success of these jokes established the mechanisms that now capture and monetize modern online attention. This wasn't just a collection of punchlines, it was the foundational blueprint for how a viral moment is transformed into a global brand. By the early 2000s, Norris's status as a champion martial artist had given way to a career built on campy, deadly serious action roles. To most audiences, he was a fading relic of the 1980s. Late-night host Conan O'Brien capitalized on that camp factor by introducing a physical lever on his desk. Pulling it triggered a random, wildly out-of-context clip from Walker, Texas Ranger, highlighting the program's melodrama and Norris's unyielding stoicism. This network map illustrates the transition to Web 2.0. Web 1.0 functioned as a read-only internet of static pages, but Web 2.0 introduced user-generated content and collaboration. As these nodes converge into a single hub, we see the formation of a Neolithic meme. This early digital folklore allowed thousands of anonymous users to collaboratively build a specific joke format. A millennial generation raised on irony required a vessel to subvert the rigid hypermasculinity of their childhood heroes. Norris's lethal on-screen earnestness made him the perfect unwitting target. The phenomenon we know today began in early 2005 within the digital subcultures of the Something Awful forums. A college student named Ian Spector created a random fact generator that initially targeted Vin Diesel, mocking the actor's transition into family-friendly roles like the pacifier. While the format was popular, the community eventually grew bored of the subject. Spector ran a user poll to select a more traditional 1980s-style tough guy for the community to focus on. Modern action stars often portray emotional vulnerability, which dulled the irony of the jokes. The forum users sought a stoic, seemingly indestructible archetype. Chuck Norris won the poll in a landslide. Applying absurd machismo to an older, unblinking martial artist crystallized the format. Inventing new ways to exaggerate his power became a collaborative online sport that crossed from forums into the global consciousness. This irony-heavy parody eventually collided with Chuck Norris's real-world identity as a serious martial artist and conservative Christian. The tension peaked in 2007 when a publisher released a physical book of these internet jokes without his permission. Norris filed a lawsuit against Penguin USA. The lawsuit raised a critical question for the early internet. Could a traditional celebrity legally extinguish a decentralized, user-generated phenomenon? It presented the entertainment industry with a choice that still defines the modern era. Public figures could either wage a losing war against digital parody, or they could find a way to monetize it. Norris chose to pivot. He dropped the lawsuit and officially embraced the absurdity of the internet's claims. By 2009, he had published his own official Chuck Norris factbook, taking ownership of the mythos and using it to promote his philanthropic efforts and personal philosophy. He even integrated the parody into the political sphere. During the 2007 presidential primary, he endorsed candidate Mike Huckabee in a series of ads that treated the internet facts as if they were true. Massive commercial crossovers followed. Video game studios hired him for high-profile holiday campaigns, placing his legendary persona inside titles like World of Warcraft and World of Tanks. Through these deals, an aging television star successfully rebranded himself for a new generation. He proved that leaning into parody could generate massive commercial value for an actor whose career had already peaked. This flowchart illustrates the meme-to-brand pipeline, tracking how a niche joke is funneled into a multi-million-dollar advertising strategy. As products multiply, we see the primordial blueprint for the modern influencer economy, where identity and parody merge to create value. This legacy is best summarized by the final scriptural truth of the movement. Chuck Norris actually died 20 years ago. Death simply hasn't built up the courage to tell him yet. By collectively refining a mythology of absolute invincibility, a generation of internet users successfully constructed a permanent, indestructible digital god.